Somewhere in the mountains of Hawaii, there is a creature so disturbing that the scientist who discovered it, a professor who has spent his entire career studying insects, described it as, and I quote, the definition of unimaginable. It wears the body parts of everything it kills. It lives inside a spider's web, and it has been doing this for 6 million years. Meet the bone collector. The bone collector is a caterpillar, a tiny larva found only on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. And I want to be clear about something before we go further. Almost every caterpillar on the planet eats leaves. That's what caterpillars do. Out of nearly 200,000 known species of moths and butterflies worldwide, fewer than 0.13% have carnivorous larvae. This thing is in that 0.13%, and even within that group, it is doing something that no other animal on Earth has ever been documented doing. Let's start with the basics. The bone collector lives inside a spider's web, not near a spider's web, not occasionally passing through one, inside one, permanently. Researchers have nicknamed this environment Smaug's Lair, the dragon's den from The Hobbit, because the spider at the center is an apex predator that would and should devour a soft-bodied caterpillar without a second thought. A spider's web is one of the most dangerous places on Earth for any small insect, and this caterpillar has decided to make it home. The reason it can do this without dying is the armor. And the armor is where this story gets truly disturbing. The bone collector builds itself a portable silk case, essentially a tiny sleeping bag it lives in and carries everywhere. But unlike any other creature on Earth, it decorates that case exclusively with the dismembered body parts of other insects. Beetle wings, ant heads, fly abdomens, earwig legs, weevil head capsules. Not for decoration, not by accident. This is a calculated, engineered suit of armor, built from the remains of its victims, designed to make the caterpillar look like a pile of garbage to the spider that would otherwise eat it. The spider looks at it and thinks, that's just last week's meal, just debris, just a clump of old dead bugs. And the bone collector just keeps walking, right across the web, right past the spider. But here is what truly sets this apart. This caterpillar doesn't just grab random pieces and slap them on. It is selective, it is precise, it is, in the most literal sense, tailoring its own suit of armor. When it finds a potential piece, a beetle wing, an ant head, it picks it up with its mandibles and physically measures it against its existing case. If the piece is too large, it chews and trims the edges until it fits perfectly. It then secretes liquid silk from its glands, a protein that hardens on contact with air, to permanently bond the piece into position. It ignores non-biological materials entirely. In laboratory tests, when researchers removed all insect parts from the web, the caterpillar refused to use leaves, twigs, or bark. It would rather remain naked, completely exposed, than compromise the biological integrity of its armor. As it grows, it continuously rebuilds and expands the case. Larger pieces for a larger body. The suit grows with the wearer, and it uses one specific type of material that makes the whole disguise significantly more effective. Among the materials the bone collector collects and attaches to its case are shed spider exoskeletons, the actual molted skins of the spider it is living with. Scientists believe this serves a second layer of deception beyond just visual camouflage. Spiders don't only rely on sight. They sense vibrations through their web. They detect chemical signatures. By incorporating spider shed skin into its armor, the bone collector may be masking its own chemical scent, essentially smelling like the spider's own discarded self. It doesn't just look like garbage. It might smell like the spider. Experiments confirmed that spiders consistently ignored the bone-clad caterpillars, even when the caterpillars were moving directly across the web, or actively chewing through the spider's own silk to steal food. The disguise works on every level simultaneously. So, What does daily life look like for a bone collector? It patrols the web, slowly, methodically, looking for dead or dying insects that the spider has caught and discarded. When it finds something edible, an ant, a beetle, a fly, it feeds. But sometimes it goes further. Sometimes the spider has caught fresh prey and wrapped it in silk for later. And the bone collector will chew through the spider's own silk wrapping to steal it. It is stealing dinner from under the nose of the most dangerous predator in its world, while wearing that predator's victims as a coat. And if that wasn't enough, the bone collector is also aggressively cannibalistic. Each spider web typically has only one bone collector. If two ever meet on the same web, the larger one will bite a hole in the other's silk case, crawl inside, and consume it entirely. It eliminates competition the same way it eliminates everything else, completely. Here is the moment that stopped scientists completely. When researchers ran DNA analysis on the bone collector, they discovered that this lineage, this specific evolutionary branch, is approximately 5 to 6 million years old. The island of Oahu, where it currently lives, is only 3 to 4 million years old. This caterpillar's ancestors evolved before the island it now calls home even existed. They evolved on older Hawaiian islands, islands that have since completely eroded and sunk back beneath the Pacific Ocean. As those islands disappeared, the ancestors of the bone collector island hopped, moving to the next emerging island, then the next, then the next. It has outlived entire islands. For 6 million years across multiple vanished landmasses, through every catastrophe nature could produce, this creature and its strategy survived. And in that entire time, only 62 individuals have ever been documented by scientists. Professor Daniel Rubinoff from the University of Hawaii first encountered these caterpillars in the Waianae Mountains in 2008. It took him more than 15 years to formally describe the species, not because he wasn't trying, because they are almost impossible to find. The bone collector exists in a 15 square kilometer patch of mountain forest, in the dark enclosed spaces of spiderwebs inside tree hollows and rock crevices. And its disguise is so effective that even a researcher who knows what to look for can stare directly at a web and mistake the caterpillar for a random clump of old debris. When the discovery was finally published in the journal Science in April 2025, Rubinoff described the creature as, quote, akin to finding a unicorn, something that just shouldn't be. He also said something that stayed with me. He called it a hero, a soft-bodied caterpillar, surviving in the lair of a predator 100 times more dangerous than itself, by becoming garbage. Now, after everything I've just told you, after 6 million years of surviving on sunken islands, after tailoring suits of armor from the body parts of its victims, after living inside a spider's web, stealing food from a predator 100 times its size, after cannibalizing its own kind to eliminate competition, you would expect the adult form of this creature to be something extraordinary, something dramatic, something that matches the energy of its larval stage. The adult moth is tiny. It is gray. It has some small white-ringed spots on its wings. That is it. It is one of the most unremarkable, forgettable, boring moths you will ever see in your life. 6 million years of being the most metal creature in nature, and it retires as a drab gray moth whose only remaining purpose is to find a mate and lay eggs near spiderwebs. Evolution has a sense of humor. Here is the part that matters beyond the spectacle. The bone collector is critically endangered. Its entire known range is 15 square kilometers of mountain forest on a single island. 62 individuals documented in 20 years of searching. Feral pigs and invasive plants are destroying the native forest structure that supports the spiderweb ecosystems it depends on. Climate change is shrinking the specific elevation zones where it can survive. Researcher Michael San Jose put it simply when he said, We're trying to study a system as it disappears. This creature survived 6 million years. It outlived islands. It evolved one of the most sophisticated survival strategies ever documented in nature, and it may go extinct before most people even learn it exists. The bone collector doesn't need to be cute. It doesn't need to be cuddly. It just needs someone to notice it before it's gone. If this made you look at caterpillars completely differently, drop a like. It really does help. And if you want more stories about the things in nature that absolutely should not exist, but somehow do, subscribe, because Panda has a lot more explaining to do. See you in the next one.